So what is your self-image? As Tony Robbins says, the most important conversation you will ever have is the one you will have with yourself. And you need to ask yourself this: who do you believe you truly are? Not who you want to be, not who others say you are. Who do you believe deep in your core that you are? See, it's all about who you believe. If you believe, have you seen people who are like most beautiful, most handsome, but still they don't feel good about themselves? They feel, nahi yaar, right? See my nose, see my ear, see this, see that, right? They're not happy about themselves and they're not confident about themselves. But you might have seen people who may not look beautiful, who may not be looking handsome, but they're always confident about themselves. The way they look at themselves, the way they act, the way they behave, they're always with confidence. What is the difference between these two? The difference is one person having low self-image where however they look, whatever the resources they have, they still believe they are not good enough. Whereas the other person, right, has a belief that they are good enough. And it is what? It is not about how the world is seeing them. It is about how they see themselves. It's all about how you see yourself. And it's the conversation that you are having with yourself. Your self-image is what you are telling to yourself. It's not what the others are telling to you. Like for my childhood, during my childhood, and as I was growing up, I was telling myself, I'm not good looking, I'm ugly, I'm dark. And who gave these definitions? It was me who was giving myself the definitions. And because of that, my self-image was low. Right? The way I was feeling about myself was low. And the way I was taking actions or I was doing things was different. Because I always felt something is missing. Something needs to be still there. Right? And I was seeking validation from the world. And this is what many of us do. This is what many of us do. But self-image is how you see yourself, right? Confident, right? Courageous. If you see yourself courageous, you will go in. You are ready to fight any battle. If you see yourself like good looking, you will always like dress up well, feel good about yourself, irrespective of what the world is talking. It is about how you define yourself. It's not about how the world defines you. It is about how you see yourself. And because you see yourself in a certain way, you tell yourself certain stories about yourself. Because where are these stories created? The stories are created in your mind. You are creating these stories. So you have the power to build a high self-image. It doesn't depend on others. It doesn't depend on situation. It doesn't depend on anyone. It depends on you. There is this one person, healthy, fit, right? Amazing, well, like great body, everything, right? Hands, legs, everything. But doesn't feel good about themselves. But there's another person, right, who may not have hands, who may not have legs, right? We have seen the story of Nick Vujicic, one of the motivational speaker. No hands, no legs. But still, this person, when he comes up on the stage, he smiles, he laughs, he makes people, other people laugh, right? And he feels good about himself. What is it? What is it? It's his self-image that he has built over a period of time. It's the self-talk he's doing with himself. It is the way he has like accepted himself, and that's the way he actually sees himself. It is all about how you see yourself, right? How you build your self-image. It's not about anybody else. It's all about you. Who do you believe you truly are? If you believe you are courageous, you'll become courageous. If you believe you are confident, you become confident. If you believe you are good looking, handsome, smart, intelligent, you'll become that. And it's not about the future. It's not about who you want to be. It's about who you see yourself as right now. So what is self-image? Self-image is the mental blueprint you hold of yourself. It's the collection of your beliefs about who you are, what you are capable of, and what you deserve. It's like the mental picture, the story you're telling about yourself. It's not about the facts, right? It's not even about the beliefs. It's the mental picture. It's the story you're telling to yourself. And the way anyone behaves or acts is simply in alignment with how you see yourself. And if you can change the master key for success, right? That if you can listen to any of the greatest like influencers, the one master key they talk about success is self-image. Change your self-image and everything around you will start shifting. This is what the most successful people, the champions, knew about themselves. The champions told to them these stories. Like Muhammad Ali, he told himself, I'm the greatest boxer. Was he the greatest boxer already? No. He perceived that in his mind. He told that story to himself. And because he told these stories to himself every single day, what happened to him? He started believing in that and he started behaving like that. And when he started believing in that, he started seeing himself like that and he started acting like that. What did he do? Every single day, whether he was down or up, whatever happened, he went ahead and then he was practicing. And that is what he said, right? I hate practicing, but I do it every single day because I know champions practice every single day. I know the greatest boxers practice every single day. And when he said the greatest boxers practice every single day, he was calling himself the greatest boxer. So he created an identity of greatest boxer for himself. which means now because his identity is the greatest boxer, he cannot miss on practice. He cannot miss on losing any game. He cannot miss on giving up. He has to play to the fullest because he's the greatest boxer. That is the identity he's given to himself. It is all about the identity you give to yourself, not the identity that people are giving you, not the identity in terms of people defining you. And this identity is not about your job title. This identity is not about your designation like a CEO. This identity is not even your positioning in the marketplace, like you calling yourself a coach, a consultant, a leader, or whatever. This is not about that. This is the identity you give to yourself. What is the identity you are giving to yourself? Every time I go on the stage, right, I'm like, this stage is my home. I always win on the stage. And when I tell this to myself, and not just tell this to myself, I believe in that. I consciously train my mind for that. And whenever I go on the stage, the way I act is different. The way I stand is different. A lot of people have told me after my stage presence in terms of whether I've given a keynote speech or a TEDx or whatever. Right? But when you go on stage, you're a totally different person. You just rule the stage. You just win the stage. How does that happen? The same person once upon a time who was shy, like who used to doubt about myself when I went on the stage, who used to struggle, who used to forget my speeches. How did this change happen? This change happened because of the stories I started telling myself. That I'm good enough. I'm great. I'm a great stage speaker. I'm a great public speaker. When I go on the stage, I win the stage. Stage is my home. See, you can visualize who you want to become, right? And see yourself like that. Don't visualize in a way that in 2027, I want to become this. No. Visualize in a way that you have already become that. Visualize in a way that you are going on the stage and people are clapping for you and you are giving the greatest speech and people are mesmerized. People are loving your speech, right? And you are confidently walking on the stage and winning the entire stage. Visualize yourself in that present moment. That is the true visualization. And that visualization is one of the exercises that can help you to build your self-image. Visualize every single day the way you want to see yourself as if you have become that. Visualize yourself as the most handsome person or the most beautiful person or the most smartest person, right? Visualize yourself as the most confident person, the most courageous person, and you will become that. Tell yourself the stories. Stories of empowerment, stories of belief, stories of success, right? Stories of what you are capable of. To define yourself who you are every single day. And this is very much possible. I'm telling you, self-image is not something that you get from when you are born. Self-image is built over a period of time. And you can define how you want to build your self-image. How do you want to see yourself? How do you want to define yourself? And that definition that you give to yourself, right? That stories you're telling to yourself is shaping your life. Is shaping your life. And why does it matter? Why does self-image matter? Your income ceiling is set by your self-image. Your health habits match your self-image. Your relationships mirror your self-image. Your confidence is your self-image. And the fastest way to change your life is to change what you believe about yourself. How does your income ceiling, right? How does it get set by your self-image? How is that possible? How many of you seen people who have just like 3, 4, 5 years of experience are making lakhs together? Are making a lot of money. And when you see them, you see maybe skill-wise, they are not somebody who is an expert, who knows everything. Maybe they are just average or a little bit above average. But their income is a lot. Whereas you might have seen people with great skills come with huge experience and then still they are not making a lot of money. What is the difference? The difference is not their skills. The difference is their self-image. Because one person who does not have enough skills, who is still average, right, who is still learning, goes in front of an interviewer, sits there and talks and says that I want, right? Let's say somebody is started with 5 lakh rupees package, sitting there and asking, I want 15 lakh rupees. Because I believe I deserve that. My skills, my potential, what I bring to the table, I believe I deserve that. 15 lakh rupees is what I need. A person maybe with 2, 3 years of experience. And what will happen? Let's assume that company says, no, we don't have the budget. We can't give you that. You know what will this person do with a person with high self-image? He or she knows their worth. So what will they do? They will reject that offer. They'll go to another company. They'll give another interview. Even when they don't agree, they will go to another interview. They'll go to another interview. They will go to another interview. Maybe in some interviews, they will even fail the technical rounds because they are not like expert. They might be just an average. But wherever they go, they will still stand for the value or the worth they are talking about. They will continue to talk about 15 lakhs, 15 lakhs. And do you think there are chances this person will get 15 lakhs? I'm sure you have seen in your life, people around you, right, making a lot of money. And you have been always confused. How the hell this person is making that kind of money? And then when it's come to work or skills, she or he is still struggling. Because that person believed that that person is worth that much. Whereas the other side of the story, right? If you look at a person with low self-image, having great skills, You know what they will do? They might go ahead and they will be even ashamed, or they will be feeling guilty, or they will not be feeling confident to ask even 10 lakhs. They might be earning, let's say, 7, 8, right, lakhs. To even ask for 10 lakhs, they will be feeling, right, not good about themselves. They'll not have the confidence, even after having the skills, the experience, and all. And when the opposite person says, no, there is no budget, no, we cannot give you this much, no, this is not possible, person with low self-image, you know what they will tell to themselves to console themselves? Maybe I still need to learn that skills. Maybe I still need to learn that, build that experience. And somewhere they tell themselves the story that maybe I don't know how to negotiate. Maybe I'm an introvert because of which I'm not able to do this. They tell different stories to themselves, not the story that I deserve it. Different stories to tell that I don't deserve it, because they themselves inside, they don't feel that, they don't believe that they are worth it. The entire game is about self-image. Somebody making high salary with low skills, somebody making low salary with high skills. I'm telling you, the entire game is self-image. I've been in the corporate world for 17 years, and I myself have struggled with low self-image issues. I still remember the time when I was working for one of the top companies, networking companies in the world called Cisco. I went to this interview for US, right? I went to US consulate in Chennai. I went for this interview, and then I was feeling, woo, like I'm making a lot of money, right? And I had already crossed about 10 years, about 8 to 10 years of experience. I stand there in the interview, and then they ask you, like, how much money are you making and all? And in the queue before me, there were people with 2, 3, 4 years of experience. And then they are telling 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs, 70 lakhs, 80 lakhs. And I'm here with 8 to 10 years of experience. I was making about roughly about 15 to 20 lakhs. I was thinking it's the game of skills, but it was the game of self-image. It's the game of self-image. Whether in job or in business, somebody is able to charge high ticket from a customer. Somebody teaching a skill, right, is able to, somebody teaching, let's say, stock market, is able to charge high ticket from customers of 1 lakh. Somebody else teaching same stock market skills, maybe better than that, is charging only 10,000. The entire difference is about self-image. This person does not have the confidence to ask for 1 lakh. This person, they truly believe that their worth is only 10,000. It's not about their program. It's not about their course. It's not about the services. It's not about the support. It's not even about the skills that they have. It's about the belief that they have about themselves. It's what they feel that they are worth. Whereas the other person, maybe with average skills, right, or maybe even with good skills, whatever it is, right? It's not about the skills. Is able to charge high ticket, is able to charge 1 lakh per customer, maybe 2 lakhs, maybe 3 lakhs. How does that happen? It's the entire game of self-image. Entire game of self-image. It's about how you feel yourself. Your relationship is about self-image. Have you gone to events and where you have seen some people, right, great at networking? They're able to talk to any person, and they are like confidently walking around talking, right? And then there are some people who are shying away, standing on one side. What do you think is the difference? You know what? Most of the people in the world say this, and then many try to use this as well. They say that person who is not talking is an introvert, that person who is talking is an extrovert. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's not about the introvert or the extrovert. It's about how that person believes in themselves, how that person treats themselves, how that person feels, whether they are worth to talk with those kind of people, or whether they see, I'm not good enough, right? I don't have this, I don't have that. You put them in some technology event, some workshop, they say, oh, I don't have that kind of knowledge and experience. That's why I'm not trying to talk. It can be multiple excuses, but the reason, the most prominent reason, if you see, for most of this is the self-image. It's not about the experience. It's not about the skills. It's about the self-image. It's about how you see yourself. And 95% of your actions are driven by your self-image. So how is self-image formed? How is self-image formed? Self-image is formed in early childhood. These are some of the ways self-image is formed. Self-image can be formed in early childhood, where ages between 0 to 7 are critical. The message from your parents, your caregivers, people around you, your teachers, all are absorbed by us, and we see that as the truth. We see that as the truth. Somebody in your neighborhood told that, hey, this guy is always like running around, right, and playing, and he is not good at studies, he's not intelligent enough. Your teacher told, right, you are not fit for anything, you will not make it big in your life, you are the dumbest. Your aunt or uncle said, right, whatever. What happened with those things? They became your truth. They became your definitions in life. Somebody defined success for you, somebody defined beauty for you, somebody defined courage for you, somebody defined confidence for you. Your teachers might have defined your success, saying that whether you will become successful or not, and you took it literally. Somebody told you that you are dumb, and you took it literally. Somebody told you you are intelligent, and you took it literally. Somebody told you are ugly, you took it literally. You made it a meaning in your life. The childhood plays a very important role in forming the self-image. But of course, can the self-image be altered? Can it be built? Can it be shaped? Can it be improved? Yes, of course. Because I know most of us have already crossed this 0 to 7 years of age. So we cannot cry for whatever has happened in our life, for somebody defined it to us. Because we may not have been in that mindset, or we might not have understood how do we deal with that, whether to accept it or whether to leave it. Somebody told us we are ugly, we just accepted it. We cried. We went to our parents, we went to maybe our loved ones. But even after they tried to explain to us, for us the definition was already gone. Somebody told you are dumb, somebody told you are like idiot, somebody told you can't even remember anything. And that became a part of your life. You told yourself your memory is bad. Somebody told you're so cruel, right? Somebody told you're so naughty. Somebody told something, right? And all those somebody's definitions became a part of your life, became your reality that you accepted. And how does self-image form? Number 2 is repeated experiences. Repeated experiences. As simple as maybe in your childhood, right? In certain subjects you struggled, and maybe you would have scored very low, or maybe you would have failed. And some teacher or some neighbor or some relative defined it to you that you cannot be successful, or you are a failure, or you are horrible at this, right? Whatever it was. And you defined it as your reality. And maybe because your teachers were not good enough, or maybe you did not put much efforts, you failed in subjects like mathematics, or you failed in some subject like science, or you failed in some subject like history. And you started hating that subject. And you started developing some belief about yourself that you are not good at that. This is not for you. You are horrible at that. And those experiences, when it repeated, right, when you were not able to perform well in that subject or whatever, you started taking yourself as that, right? Your repeated experiences of maybe failures in your academics, you started seeing yourself as a failure. Maybe for some of you, repeated experience of interviews. Maybe for some of you, repeated experience of something in your academics, in your school, in your college, in your neighborhood. So those repeated experiences, those failed experiences, or whatever experiences you went through, they actually created a pattern around you, whether a pattern of success or a pattern of failure. And those patterns became your beliefs. And number 3 is emotional impacts. Like the emotional events. We all go through some emotional events in our life. Maybe as an emotional experience where you failed in some subjects in your academics, or maybe an emotional experience where you were bullied or you were hit so bad in your childhood by maybe like 3, 4, 5 people, 3, 4, 5 kids, or maybe a horrible experience of how your teacher treated you, or maybe a horrible experience or some emotional experience about your family members struggling for food, or some relationships, or maybe a bad experience about some relationships breaking, right? Your dad and your uncle, or your mom and your aunt, right? All those experiences, all those became your patterns, right? And those experiences, right, those patterns shaped something for you. They told you relationships are bad. They told you like relatives are bad. They told you friends are bad. They told you teachers are bad, right? Whatever. And that created a strong emotional impact on you. Maybe you stopped trusting people around you. Maybe you're someone who always spread love, but what you got in return was a lot of hatred. Maybe in your school, maybe in your college, or maybe in your offices, wherever you went for work, you saw a lot of office politics around you. You saw people hating, people pulling each other down. And that created something inside you, right? And that built some patterns. And those patterns became your belief system. All those emotional impacts, the traumas that you went through, maybe like some of you losing dear ones in your life, which created an impact, which created a huge gap, right? Or a void in your life. The social environment, like your peers, the culture, the media, the people around you, maybe your school, maybe your college, maybe your office, maybe your neighborhood, maybe your relatives, right? Your social environment, all of that, everything. Because you become the average of what you consume and who you surround with. And the last one is your self-talk. What you're talking to yourself when you're alone has shaped who you have become today. Right? Like whatever you have been talking to yourself, you have been telling yourself, hey, I've always promised myself that I'm going to the fitness center, but I have always I've enrolled, but I've not gone. I've not been consistent. I've not been really true to myself. And you stop believing in yourself. Maybe again and again in your corporate world, right? You have expected hike, you have expected some promotions, and that has not come to you. And you felt, hey, I did not stand strong for myself. I did not jump companies because I did not believe in myself. And because of that, you might have had a lot of self-talk with yourself. Because many a times what happens is when we are not able to express to the outside world, we stay silent. We don't fight with our bosses. We don't fight with other people. We don't fight with the world for what we deserve in terms of a promotion, our hike and all. But we are having this constant inner battle going on, constant self-talk happening, right? Where we either we are like trying to accuse ourselves, either we are trying to put ourselves in the victim mindset, or we are telling ourselves that I don't deserve it, I'm not good enough, maybe I'm not ready, maybe I'm not made for this. Right? All that self-talk that you are going to do with yourself, or you have been doing with yourself, has defined and shaped your belief system. And that is what has shaped your self-image. So all of this, if you see, has shaped the self-image. Maybe for some of you, something is dominant. Maybe your childhood. Maybe for some of you, the repeated experiences you had in your life of being betrayed, being like failing in certain thing. Maybe for some of you, it's the emotional impacts, the traumas that you have gone in your life. Maybe for some of you, it's your environment, right? Your neighborhood, your office culture, your school or college that you studied, right? Or at home, your siblings, right? Whatever, your environment, your parents, all that. And for some of you, maybe it is a lot of self-talk that you have been doing with yourself, which has been negative. The self-talk you're doing to yourself. Because you don't need an external enemy. You don't need anybody outside. It's the one person that you need inside, within you, to either destroy your life or to shape your life. And if you have been talking negative to yourself, if you have not been like being your own biggest fan, if you're not someone who is motivating yourself, if you're not somebody who is inspired by yourself, if you're not somebody who's appreciating yourself, if you're not somebody who's rewarding yourself, if you have not been doing that, and if you're not somebody who is giving yourself a lot of love, which is self-love, then you might be putting yourself in the negative zone. You are your biggest enemy in that case. So all of this tells us only one thing. You have the power, not anyone else, to shape your destiny, to shape your life. You have the power to design your life by designing and building your own self-image, by defining your own self-image. All of this. And success is truly possible when you are able to follow the secret for success, which is building your self-image. So childhood programming. So whatever the childhood programming that has happened with you before the age of 7 or 8 years, you accepted whatever people told you. You're stupid, whether you're amazing, you're dumb, right? You are horrible, you are cruel, you are not good enough, whatever. You're not beautiful, whatever. You accepted that. And you're living that story. But the good news is you can change your story. You can change your story. Because you have as per neuroscience, right? The brain has neuroplasticity. That means the ability to rewire itself at any age. At any age. And the self-talk shapes your reality. This is very important. I'm telling you, like every single moment, you need to be conscious of what you're telling to yourself. Because as Tony Robbins says, it's not what happens with you, it's the story that you're telling to yourself. It's the story you're telling to yourself. For example, you have failed in something, right? You made an attempt. Let's say you started some project, but that project did not become successful for whatever reasons, your clients, your team members, or whatever. It's not about what has happened. It's about what is the story you're telling to yourself. Are you telling the story that, hey, this is my life, this is how it is, whatever I pick up, it does not work for me, I'm a failure, I'm a loser, I can never win, right? Or you're telling to yourself, right? Hey, good, I made an attempt. We were able to do whatever we could do, the best for this project. And I know, right, I can win. Maybe for this project, there were certain client issues because of which we were not able to handle or do it. Next project, I know we'll do it. So what is the talk that you're doing for yourself? What is the talk you're having with yourself, whether it's in your relationships, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your business, all that. Right? The limiting self-talk you can have is, I'm not good with money, money does not come to me, I always fail at this, I'm not confident, I'm too old, I'm too young. Or the empowering self-talk like, I'm learning to master money. I grow stronger with every attempt. Confidence is a skill, I build it daily. My timing is exactly right. Instead of telling this happens to me, like always, I don't know why this happens to me every time, that I'm failing, I'm not getting success, I'm not getting promotion. And instead of that, if you're telling empowering self-talk to yourself that I've always been able to make good money, right? I'm somebody who is blessed. Money comes to me easily. I'm money magnet. I attract it. What is the self-talk you're doing with yourself? Because the entire self-image is built based on this cycle of whatever you see here, the 4 to 5 things. Based on your belief of who you are. You see yourself as somebody who is like somebody like Muhammad Ali who said, I'm the greatest boxer. Based on that belief, the emotions you will have is, oh yes, I'm the greatest. So what is the feeling that you will have? Positive feeling. And because you have so high positive feeling, right, you will take actions. And because your actions, you're taking them consistently, you get the results. And because of the results, you build that identity. And that identity reinforces your self-image. And isn't it that what the greatest people did? Whether it was Muhammad Ali, whether it was Bruce Lee, or whoever it was. If we see the past, like if you look at Gandhiji, he was not like a well-built man, done with gym or like have done a lot of exercises, built his body, 6 packs, right, great, super intelligent, super smart, well-built. No. But this thin man is able to stand against the mighty army, against those Britishers. who were well equipped, smart, intelligent, had all the resources and everything. How is that possible? It is because of this, the self-image. All these successful people, they understood what self-image is and they did the same. Like if you see Muhammad Ali did the same, he believed that I'm the greatest boxer, and because of that he had positive feelings, and because of that he took those actions, and because of that he got the results, and because of that his identity got shaped every single day. Whereas maybe some other person, right, even though they had good skills, but they believed that they're not good enough, and because of the feeling that I'm not good enough, you're not able to, you feel bad, and because of that bad feeling, you don't get into the action state at all. And because you don't get into the action state, you don't get the results what you're looking for. And because you don't get the results, you keep shaping your identity that I'm a failure, I'm a failure, I'm a failure. So this is one principle that you can implement to build a strong self-image. Because your external world is a reflection of your internal world. Like your bank account, your body, your relationships, your career, your daily habits, everything is based on your self-image. It reflects who you are. And there are two types of self-image: limiting self-image or empowering self-image. Empowering self-image is something like you're telling yourself empowering things. Like Muhammad Ali did to himself, I'm the greatest boxer in the world. It was an empowering self-image. So you need to ask yourself, what is the self-image that you are running? Whether it is limiting or empowering. And how you can rebuild your self-image? You can audit your story, look at your stories and see what are the stories you're telling to yourself, right? What are the affirmations you're telling to yourself, right? And then your psychology will change based on your physiology. So are you doing daily exercises, doing walk? Are you taking actions? Are you actually surrounding yourself with positive people? And are you using the power of visualization? Because if you can bring these 6 things in your life, you can truly build a high self-image. This is possible. And this is the identity shift that you need to bring. Instead of telling, I want to be healthy, shift to I'm a healthy person, which is like you're visualizing by being in the present of whatever you're looking for. Not trying to say, visualize that I want to become this, I want to be strong, I want to be healthy, I want to have a great relationship. No, visualize in a way that you have already achieved that. Because when you see it inside, you'll be able to build it outside. And you can build this self-image by practicing this on a daily basis, by setting your intentions of who you are becoming, by speaking your identity aloud, by visualizing your ideal self-handling today's challenges, moving your body, which is your physiology, because that shapes your psychology, right? Journaling your thoughts, journaling your wins, and asking yourself some important questions to self-reflect, like, did I act my best self today? Right? Acknowledging yourself, appreciating yourself every single day, and setting that intention for every single day. I'm telling you, if you can start doing this, if you can start working on your self-image, if your foundation becomes strong, the building will become so strong, irrespective of whatever, like cyclone comes, storm comes, right? Recession comes, AI comes, whatever comes, it cannot shake you. Because the strongest trees with the strongest foundation, they stand there even when the storms come, whatever comes. Whereas the ones with weak foundation, because of the wind, if just the wind is heavy, they get carried away. And especially if there are storms, they're gone, destroyed. And that is all because of the foundation. And I'm telling you, the game of career, the game of business, the game of relationship, the game of health, everything, if you see, is the game of self-image. So can I have your commitment that you are going to work on your self-image every single day? And the next 90 days, we are going to look at how do we master our self-image? How do we master ourselves? Right? Because this self-image will build self-confidence, and that self-confidence will help you to take massive actions, and that massive actions will help you to get the massive success you are looking in your life. And when you are able to do this, as Jim Rohn says, success is something you attract by the person you become. You will become the better version of yourself. You will become the version of yourself that you will love. And when you become the person you love, you become successful in life. You become happy in life. You become fulfilled in life. You become who you truly wanted to always be. And the best part is, everything is under your control. You are the owner. You have the complete control of becoming the best version of you.